Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into a market that plays a surprisingly critical role behind the scenes. Think water purification, energy storage.
Chemical processing, too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the ion exchange membrane market.
exactly. And we're basing this discussion on a recent market report. It gives us, the hard numbers.
Right. It's got historical data, sets 2024 as the base year, and looks all the way out to 2033.
So our mission really is to pull out the key findings, not just like list numbers, but understand the story they tell about the market size, where it's headed.
And crucially, where that growth is really happening globally,
Uh-huh.
because it's not the same everywhere.
Definitely not. So let's get the big picture out there first. The global revenue back in 2021.
It was $12,251.9 million. And the forecast in this report takes it up to $2087.5 million by 2033.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a jump. So what does that work out to in terms of growth rate?
That gives us an overall compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 6.6% between 2025 and 2033.
6.6%. That feels like pretty robust growth, generally speaking.
It is on a global level. But like you said, the really fascinating part is when you start breaking it down by region. The global average hides some, well, really distinct differences.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting, doesn't it? Seeing the specific dynamics. So let's do that. Let's dive into those regional details from the report. Where do we start? North America.
Sounds good. North America is a big established market here. The report puts its 2021 revenue at $463.2 million,
Okay.
and it's expected to go to about $653.7 million by 2033. That's a regional CGR of 4.4%.
4.4%. So solid, but maybe a bit more mature compared to the global average we just mentioned.
Exactly. And within North America, the U.S. is obviously the heavyweight, $365.47 million in 2021, with a 4.2% CGR forecast.
Right. But what caught my eye here is Canada and Mexico. Their projected KGRs are actually a bit higher.
Yeah, that's a good point. Canada's forecast is 5.2% and Mexico's is 4.9%. So slightly faster growth expected there than in the U.S. market itself.
Interesting. Maybe different stages of adoption or specific industry needs driving that slightly faster pace.
Could be. Now let's hop over to Europe, another major region. Its 2021 revenue was $363.05 million.
Okay, a bit smaller than North America then.
Yes, slightly, and projected to reach $532.3 million by 2033. The overall CAGR for Europe comes in at 4.9%.
4.9%. So again, steady growth, marginally higher than North America's overall rate.
Right. But Europe shows maybe a bit more variety between countries. Germany had the biggest market share in 2021, $71.88 million, with a 5.1% CAGR.
Mm-hmm.
But the UK, interestingly, is projected to grow a little faster at 5.7%.
Oh, okay.
And then you have others like France at 4.1% and Russia down to 3.9%. So quite a range there.
Yeah, definitely a spread from nearly 6% down to below 4%. Makes you think about the different industrial bases or maybe environmental regulations across Europe affecting demand differently.
Precisely. Now, things really start to shift when we look east. Asia-Pacific, the report really flags this as the engine for future growth.
The rapidly expanding one.
Absolutely. Its 2021 revenue was $300.46 million smaller than the others to start with, you notice.
Right? Start from a lower base.
But it's projected to nearly double, hitting $581.3 million by 2033.
Wow. And the CAGR must be?
It's 8.6%.
8.6. Okay, that's a huge difference compared to the 4-point-something% we saw in North America and Europe.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
And the individual countries really highlight this. China, of course, is huge, $126.19 million in 2021, and a strong 8.1% CAGR projected.
Strong, yeah. But there was one number that just leaped off the page for me. India.
Ah, yes, India. The report projects its CAGR to be the highest globally, a staggering 10.5%.
10.5%? That's incredible, even though its 2021 market size was smaller, around $30 million.
Exactly. That 10.5% growth rate just signals a really steep upward curve. It suggests some powerful drivers are at play specifically there.
Absolutely. What about other key players in the region? Japan, South Korea?
Also very strong. Japan's at 7.1% CAGR, South Korea 7.7%, Australia 7.9%, all significantly above those Western market growth rates.
So yeah, the picture is crystal clear from the data. Asia-Pacific is where the high-speed growth is happening, and India, wow, is really projected to lead that charge.
That's the big story here. Now, quickly touching on the other regions. South America, also showing decent growth. $47.57 million in 2021, projected to $73.6 million. That's a 5.6% CAGR.
Okay, 5.6%. Brazil leading there.
Yep, Brazil's the largest market, $20.36 million in 2021, and growing slightly faster than the region at 6.2%.
Got it. And the Middle East.
Slightly larger market than South America, $50.08 million in 2021, going up to $79.2 million. The CAGR there is 5.9%. Saudi Arabia is a key player, also showing 6.2% growth.
Okay, 5.9% for the Middle East. And finally, Africa.
Africa starts from the smallest base, $27.54 million in 2021, but it's projected for quite healthy growth too. Expected to reach $44.9 million by 2033, which is a 6.3% CAGR.
6.3%. So actually faster than South America and the Middle East overall.
That's right. And South Africa within that region is notable, projected at 7.2% growth.
So if you line them all up, North America 4.4, Europe 4.9, then South America 5.6, Middle East 5.9, Africa 6.3. And way out front, Asia Pacific at 8.6%. It really underscores that shift.
Yeah, it really does. And the report, goes on from these numbers to talk about the why the market drivers, the restraints, the trends shaping all this. We haven't dug into those specific factors today, but you see their effects in these different growth rates.
Right. So wrapping this part up, this deep dive into the report's numbers shows the ion exchange membrane market is definitely growing globally. Significant expansion expected through 2033. But the really compelling story is that geographic split. North America, Europe, steady growth. But the real acceleration, the main engine, is clearly Asia Pacific. And India's projected 10.5% growth is just remarkable.
Yeah, these numbers paint a picture of a technology becoming more vital globally, but like you said, adopted at very different speeds depending on where you look.
Exactly. And that difference in speed, that's the really thought-provoking part, isn't it? Since the report mentions drivers and restraints, here's something for you, the listener, to chew on. What factors do you think are behind these huge variations?
Yeah, why would India be projected at, say, 10.5% growth while Russia is at 3.9%? What's driving that difference?
Could it be, water treatment needs, massive infrastructure projects, different environmental rules kicking in, maybe specific industrial booms like in batteries or chemicals happening faster in some places than others?
Thinking about that why, using the data points we've shared today, that's really where you start to understand the deeper dynamics of this market.